Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another video demonstration. Today we are I'm gonna show you guys how to do a sketch, like a simple sketch. Like if you have a sketchbook, um, you want to fill it up with just random sketches. I think sketching is the best way for you to become a better artist, because it's all about practice. Like no matter how many amount of tutorials you watch or how many classes you take, I think the most important thing is just you actually doing the work. The video tutorials and demonstrations are helpful in that you're able to learn a lot of different techniques, a lot of different ways other artists approach art, and just learning through other people's skills. But at the end of the day, it's up to you, and the amount of time that you put into creating your own art, just through sketching and painting and drawing. So if you have a sketchbook and you want to fill it up, by going out in the street, going through, taking the metro, or even if you're just walking on the street, just being able to look at something, at buildings, at people, and just try to draw them. So that's what we're gonna do today. I'm looking at a picture of a city, and I'm just gonna very loosely create a sketch, using a regular pencil. This is mechanical pencil. You could use any type of pencil, you know, regular HB pencil or whatever. You could even go ahead and just sketch it out with a pen and just forget about the pencil part. The other kind of pens that I use are Copic multi-liners, but you could use micron pens. You could use and these pens, I got them at this store. They're like 50 cents each, so these are perfect because these are like they have like a brush tip. So these are cool to have like really bold, like strokes, from thin to thick. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna just start with a pencil, just to get my the general idea and composition of what I'm looking at. So the cool thing about drawing buildings is that it's just a whole bunch of like straight lines. In this one, I just see that there's like a bridge connecting two buildings. So I just draw straight lines. They don't have to be perfect. You just want to get the basic idea down. And oftentimes when we're like on the street or out and about, we don't have a lot of time to draw, because a lot of times cars or people, they don't stay still until you finish drawing them. People move, cars move, buildings are a little bit more steadier, so that's pretty cool, and they're fun to draw too. There you go. Don't mind my dog. If you guys could hear him barking, I apologize. Okay, so if you could see, like if you were to go out in the field or out in the street and trying to draw buildings and stuff, you could use your pencil to kind of measure or see in what angle the lines, the edges of the buildings are, and you could just look at it and then put it on the paper. But you could just eyeball it. They don't have to be perfect. Like I said, it's just like something. If I was out in the street and I was like I only have like 5 minutes or something to do a drawing. Just want to be able to capture it really quickly, and you don't have to be perfect, precise. It's capturing the moment. Even Google searching some images is also pretty helpful. Got a tree right here. You could even draw this from imagination if that's something that you would rather do. You don't always have to look into the computer or Google to get your images, but oftentimes, if you don't have anything to draw, like you're trying to think of what to draw, a lot of times what happens is that we're more caught up in trying to think about what to do that we waste so much time doing nothing, just thinking about what to do. And then when we do try to do something, it comes out, it doesn't come out that good. So I use Google, just like I search for images to kind of warm up and just start, you know just start drawing and warming up pretty much. When I do that, I don't really have to think about what to draw. Like, I just go ahead and draw what I see, and then eventually, like, something like an idea would come up, and then I'll be like, oh, you know what, this will be pretty fun to do. And then one thing will lead to another, and I'm drawing my own illustration. But this is a pretty cool way of just warming up and exercising my brain. And like I said, just doesn't have to be perfect. Just getting some of the more important elements on here. You don't want to spend so much time on doing things that like they're not that important for your image, for your drawing, for your sketch. Just focusing on small areas or areas that you think are more interesting. That's what's most important. Like all these buildings to the side, they're not that important to me. I think this bridge is really cool, so I'm gonna focus on the bridge. And I know you guys can't see the bridge, but hopefully when I'm done with this, you'll be this will be the main focus. Like, you'll be able to see it and also find it as interesting as I found it to be. Okay, so it's got like all this shadow on this side and just all these parts of the building, scaffolds and all that over here. And then there's like this cool building in the background. So yeah, you just gotta practice filling up your sketchbook with all these little sketches, and you'll be on your way to becoming a better artist. Art is not something that you all of a sudden you know how to do. It takes time and a lot of patience and a lot of practice. And you could be in your 80s and 90s or 100 years old, and you're still learning all these cool things about drawing and painting. And even with new technology that gets invented, you could use that as like new tools to create art. Sometimes even I like to create art just with traditional tools like a pencil and pen and watercolor and acrylic and oil. But a lot of times when I have to do some really fast finished artwork, I just get on my computer and I start using and painting in Photoshop. Or if I'm using my iPad, I use Procreate, and those are some really cool tools that I wish I had when I was growing up. But as an artist, you always have to kind of adapt to current changes and use the tools that professionals are using. And it's just so cool that we have all these tools for people that they don't have the kind of money to spend on watercolor paints or oils, because that tends to get really expensive. So with like the iPad, the iPad is pretty expensive, but you buy it once and you buy Procreate and you buy the Apple Pencil, and you have everything to create art at your fingertips. You don't even have to buy anything else ever. Like, that's all you need. Well, when you're painting in watercolor, you gotta go out and buy paint. Somebody commissions you to do a painting, and then you gotta you got to make sure that you have enough paint, and if you don't, you have to think about investing in more paint. You know, even though I think traditional art is still, very relevant, but just the quickness that you could do your drawings in Photoshop or Procreate is just pretty amazing. When I was a kid, I didn't have it. I didn't even have Photoshop. It was just pencil and paper. And then I started using gouache and watercolor and acrylic. But that's really cool, that you gotta learn to adapt. So right here I'm just looking at my piece and the image, the reference image that I'm using, and just trying to draw it as fast as I can, trying to capture everything. There's a person right here. Draw this person. Okay. These buildings are way in the background, so that they're not going to have that much detail, because things that are in front of you or closer to you have a lot more detail than things that are far away from you. Things that are far away from you, even if you go out like on a regular day, during the daytime, and you try to look at a building way out in the distance, you're not able to tell like every single brick that it has or every single detail. So things that are out of your focus, don't worry too much about it. Just even a simple shape is enough. Okay, so I got my quick sketch down, so I'm just gonna use one of my brushes, one of my pens, and I'm just going to go back in and just kind of quickly draw some of them, because once I start adding like some color, it's gonna overwhelm the paint. So I'm just gonna focus on some of the areas that I really want to stand out, like this. And again, I'm not trying to be perfect with this. It's just a sketch, quick, very simple sketch. I'm pretending that I'm out. It's my lunch time, and I want to do a quick drawing. So I gotta capture the moment as fast as I can. The scaffold's right there. Let me see. I'm gonna use that other pen. Where did I? Let me see. Put it somewhere over here. I use this one, and like I said before, I like this one because it's really cool. You could use it really thin or really thick. There you go. I like pens that are almost fading. They give it so much more character to the drawing. And I'm not even going to try to make everything super detailed. Not even the truck. Now I'm looking at some of the areas on the buildings that are a little bit darker, and I'm using the wider tip of the brush pen so that it gives it that much more contrast. Like, alright, even the bottom of the tree might have a little bit more, like that. So things that are on the bottom are going to be thicker because they got more shadow, and things that are top are thinner. And that's why I like this pen, because I could use really thin lines like this and really thick lines like that. Okay, like a cool little sign right here. Okay, there you go. You know, doing these kind of sketches, even though it looks like it's very fast and very sloppy and very quick, you know, very sketch-like, this is very difficult to do. Like, I see a lot of artists, and I look at their work, and a lot of their work is very beautiful. But when I look at their sketches, that really tells me how good of an artist they are. When they're able to create a quick sketch and it looks so good, is because they're able to just draw really well and really fast. You know, because I think that if any artist that, you know, you could take a long time on a painting and you can make it look really good, but it's a lot harder to create a drawing or even a painting in, you know, really fast and make it look good. That takes a lot of skill. And you know, even me, like that, I'm always practicing. Like, I look at other artists and their work, and you know, artists that do a lot of sketches, and that's all they post. Like on Instagram, all they post are sketches, not even finished art, but those sketches look so nice that I'm just like, man, I need to practice, you know, doing that kind of art. Like, I want to be that good, you know, doing sketches. Right here it's a little bit darker. And you know, the cool thing about doing buildings too is that it's just a whole bunch of lines. The windows right there. And then there's like this building right here, but it has a lot of shade. But like, if you look at like this drawing and you look at it first glance, with all the lines and all the line weight and all the dark areas, it makes it seem like it's an actual drawing. And then you look at it again and you realize that it's just a whole bunch of like, you know, squiggly lines and, you know, stuff like that that makes up the drawing. Yeah. This warm pens are the best. The ones that are almost dry, you just have like so much more control over it. Okay, right here, it's more shadow right here on this area. And right here, I'm not going to worry too much about this because I want the focus to be here, not so much over here. And then I see that there's like all these little lines right here. The brick. Like that. In the corner. So it gives it the illusion that you are in a street. Alright, so now I'm gonna do this right here. There you go. I'm not gonna do the back because that's gonna be, I'm gonna do it more with the color. to separate it just shapes. Right here, just drawing these columns, and then there's this person right here, and it's just a suggestion. Like, you don't have to get all details, just a person there. There you go. And it's building back here. The windows. Okay. Now I'm gonna go in and I'm going to get some markers and just start adding some value, some darks and some lights, and maybe start coloring in some of the buildings. I see this building that has like kind of like an orangey color, so I'm gonna paint that one. And again, you know, I color it in, you know, very loosely, like I did with this, you know, with the pencils and the markers. Let me get some of this green on the tree. Very quick. I don't spend too much time on it. And there's this cool building right here. There you go. There's this other building that's more of a this color, and the colors don't have to be exact. That's like whatever you feel. I'm gonna add some more yellow on that one. Like that. Probably bring it up all the way. This side is a little bit darker, like a little bit darker color, so go ahead and do it like that. Actually, this color back here is like more of a pinkish. And then color, like the buildings are way in the background. They're closer to the color of the sky, so I'm just gonna go ahead and use this gray blue. And these markers are very inexpensive if you know where to get them. Like if you go to Michael's and you get the Art Loft, they're pretty cheap. But I always recommend the Copic markers because you could always refill them. So that's always a plus. You don't have to be spending so much money on buying a brand new marker every single time. And right here I'm just adding some gray. So when I add color to it, it will give it that gray tone. And then the building is actually a little gray too. I mean the bridge. It's got like this color right here. And then and some of these areas are also kind of gray. I gotta get some of this. Let me get some of that brown. Get that here. Remember, it's all about focus. We want to focus right here. So I'm gonna get a little bit darker color for the maybe like a gray, darker gray, just to hit some of these areas over here. Some of the parts of the building, especially over here, it's a little bit more darker. So and it's got like scaffolds and everything, so just a suggestion, just a hint. Like that. Now for the floor, for the pavement, it's kind of wet on the one that I'm looking at, so I'm just gonna kind of hit it, on some, just add some of that color on some of the areas, kind of make it look a little wet right here, like with the water and color of the concrete. The stop sign. There you go. Just looking at some of these areas. There you go. I'm gonna put some of that blue on the windows. But notice how like it's very loose, like the painting, the drawing, the sketch, it's very loose. Just getting some areas, maybe adding some of that color down here, maybe right here. I love adding color everywhere. I'm gonna add some shadow right here. And there's a marker also that you could use. It's called a blender, and what it does is that it'll blend colors together. So right here, I just want to blend like the blue and the gray together, like this. There you go. And this is pretty much how you do a sketch, like a quick sketch, trying to capture something really fast when you don't have a lot of time. And you could use any kind of marker. You could even use a Crayola marker or Copic. Like I like using Copics. They're just my favorite. They're to me, in my opinion, they're probably the best out there besides Prisma colors. But yeah, there you go. Quick quick sketch of an urban street. Filling up your sketchbook with a whole bunch of quick drawings like this will make you so much, so it's like it'll make you so good. And even when you show people like your sketchbook, they're just gonna be so amazed at every single page, looking like doing quick sketches, but also trying to capture like the best parts of whatever it is that you're trying to focus on. And yeah, that's how you get good. Well, anyways, thank you so much for watching another video demonstration. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And I'll catch you guys on the next video. All right, thank you. Bye.